z cube divided by 4 minus z whole cube. So this is the problem here. Oh, just a minute. So I want to find the inverse z transformation for this. So let us see how to find. Solution. See, first, as usual, solution. So as usual, the given function, this one will be taken as u bar of z. Let u bar of z equals, it is 8z minus z cube divided by 4 minus z whole cube. So this is the function given. So the first thing here is, see in the denominator of u bar of z, that already I told in the last class, the z term should come first. Here you have 4 minus z, but I want z minus something. So I'll rearrange this and then I'll start a problem. So I'll write this one as, I'll take minus common, minus, it is z cube minus 8z divided by, if I take minus outside, it is z minus 4 whole cube. So this minus minus gets cancelled. So therefore you get u bar of z is equal to, it is z cube minus 8z divided by z minus 4 whole cube. Okay, so I'll write the problem in this form. I'm going to rewrite it like this. So if you write, the advantage of writing this one is the problem will be in the standard form. Now if you look at this problem, in the denominator you have repeated factors, linear only. So the power of z was 1. So the power of z is 1 means it is a linear term. But if you see this power here, you have 3, z minus 4 whole cube means it is something like z minus 4 into z minus 4 into z minus 4. So it is a linear repeated factors. See, once you have a linear repeated factors, you know how to resolve that into a partial fraction. So once you resolve it into a partial fraction, then you have to find the inverse z transform. But here what happens is, if I say a partial fraction for this problem, so we don't consider about the numerators. We'll consider something like a by z minus 4, b by z minus 4 whole square, c by z minus 4 whole cube, like that. See, if you write in that form, we don't have any formula for something like z by z minus 1, b by z minus 4 whole square. For that, we don't have any formula to find the inverse. If I have whole cube, then again in the numerator, if I have only the constant, I cannot find the inverse z transformation. That is complicated, because for the terms like z minus 4 whole square, whole cube and all, in the numerator you should have some terms like z, kz square, I mean like this, for z minus 4 power 1. In the numerator you should have only z. Z minus 4 whole square is there, means in the numerator also you should have z. Whole cube means in the numerator you should have a term like z square and z. So just go through the formula table of your z transformations. So I'll just write the formulas. We know that z transform of inverse z transform of this, z by z minus k. K is nothing but k power n. Inverse z transformation of z by z minus k whole square is nothing but it is k power n into n. And inverse z transformation of, if I have cube here, z minus k whole cube, here you should have k z square plus k square z is k power n into n square. See, these are the standard formulae. The standard formula of inverse z transformation. See, that means if I have whole cube in the denominator, in the numerator you should have a term like this, k z square plus k square z. But if you resolve this into a partial fraction in the normal way, we don't get a term like this in the numerator. Once you didn't get the term like this in the numerator, you cannot able to find the inverse z transformation. Keep it in your mind. This is main thing you should observe in solving a problem on inverse z transform. So normal partial fraction is applicable for linear non-repeated factors. But for repeated factors like this, normal partial fraction, if you do, it becomes very complicated. The reason is, if you have the higher powers like these cubes, power 4 and all, we don't get this type of terms in the normal partial fractions. So what we should do for these type of linear repeated factors is, I'll consider this as, just observe this, observe carefully now, this z cube minus 8z divided by z minus 4 whole cube. So it is a linear repeated factors now. So the partial fraction for this linear repeated factor is, I'll write like this. It is a by z minus 4 plus b by z minus 4 whole square plus c by z minus 4 whole cube. Correct. So this is how we will going to write the normal partial fraction. I am talking about normal partial fraction. Normal partial fraction for this is, for linear repeated, it is a by first term, a by z minus 4, b by z minus 4 whole square, plus c by z minus 4 whole cube. We will going to get it like this. This is the normal partial fraction, a by b by c by. But here, in case of inverse Z transformation, we have to do a small modification. That modification was, let us split this as, let us split this as, along with this we can write by using partial fraction method. But in the numerator, by looking at the denominator, I will write. So the power of z minus 4, power 1. The power 1 is there, means in the numerator you should have z. So I'll write z. So here z minus 4 whole square. If I have whole square here in the numerator, see z minus k whole square. So in the numerator, what we should have? It is kz, I think. Kz this is, sorry. This is kz. Kz by z minus k whole square. You should have kz here. So I will write k. K stands for what for this problem? See, k is nothing but 4 for this problem. So I'll write kz, means I'll write in the numerator 4z, so that easily I can apply the formula of inverse Z transform. So z minus 4 whole cube, it looks like z minus k whole cube. If I have z minus k whole cube in the denominator, in the numerator you should have kz square plus k square z. So since k was 4, if I put k in the formula, k value, it is 4z square plus 4 square, that is 16z. So I'll use this formula. So I'll going to resolve it into partial fraction only. While resolving it into a partial fraction, I'll just give a gap in the numerator like this, and that gap will be filled by looking at the denominator in such a way that the denominator terms should map with the formulas of inverse Z transformation, whatever we have written here. So the power 1 means numerator, simply Z I have written. Square means in the numerator we should have kz. So k means 4, I'll write 4z. So this is just a simplification I did. So this simplification is very important. Then afterwards, as usual, we'll find the values of ABC, we substitute in this, and we take inverse on both sides and solve. So this modification is very important. Now if you have any doubt in this modification, you can ask me. This is main step, guys. If you understand this, all other things are very easy. From here onwards, it is just finding of ABC. So the splitting is very important. Just look at the splitting, and if you have any doubts, you tell me. Go through it, and if you have any doubts, you ask me now. And I will call this as 1. Anybody, any doubt? Whether I understood the splitting? In the next problem, you should tell me what is the splitting. Sakshita. Iman?
Yes.
Rito? I don't get any answers. Otherwise, I'll give you an assignment. You have to write and show me. The splitting is very important. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Whether I understood the splitting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll ask you a question now. Suppose you have z minus 4 whole power 4. Can you tell me what is the numerator? Z minus 4 whole power 4. What is the numerator for that? Any one of you, z minus 4 whole power 4. What is the numerator for that? So the partial fraction will be plus d into some gap I will give in the numerator by z minus 4 whole power 4. What is z minus 4 whole power 4? What we should have in the numerator? Yes. Aish. Aish Kumar.
Yes, sir.
What you should have in the numerator?
4z cube plus 64 z square.
Correct. Plus one more term should come. 64 z.
Plus 64. Yes.
Yes. So see here, guys, remember, if you have z minus 4 whole power 4 in the numerator, you should have a term like kz cube plus 4k square z square plus k cube z. Here k is 4, you can put that 4 in the formula. So like that, the splitting is main. Okay, so let us take LCM and we simplify this. So this implies the numerator z cube minus 8z equals, in the right hand side, see this 1 z minus 4 gets cancelled. So it is a z into z minus 4 whole square. Correct? Now one term gets cancelled. Cross multiply z into z minus 4 whole square plus b. So this term plus 4bz, the numerator 4bz into 1 z minus 4 whole square, z minus 4 whole square gets cancelled. We get 1 z minus 4 here, z minus 4 into the second term. It is 4bz into z minus 4 plus the next term. Just a minute, guys. Some call. I'll just. Yeah. So, sorry. So the last term, z minus 4 whole cube, z minus 4 whole cube, this gets cancelled. It is c into, it is 4z square plus 16z. 4z square plus 16z here. So this is the simplified expression. Now what I'm going to do is, I'll take z common. Let us cancel z on both sides. If I cancel z on both sides, I can write this as z square minus 8 equals a into z minus 4 whole square plus 4b into z minus 4 plus c into, it is 4z plus 16. Shall I write like this? See, in the right hand side z, and here also I can take z common. So if I take totally z common and take one z common in the left hand side and cancel, we get this result. So this is just by cancelling z on both sides. One z we can cancel on both sides. Now I want to find the values of ABC. To find the values of ABC, there is only one root I can put here, z is equal to 4. Let us substitute that. Put z is equal to 4 in the relation. So this is 4 square. 4 square is 16. 16 minus 8, it is 8. The right hand side now, 4 minus 4, 0. And here also 4 minus 4, 0. So A term and B term was 0. But the C term, if I put 4 here, 4 4 is 16. 16 plus 16, 32. So it is plus 32 into C. So this implies C is equal to, it is 8 by 32. So it is 1 by 4. The value of C is 1 by 4 here. Right? So the value of the first C term is 1 by 4. Now I want to find the value of A and B. To find the value of A and B, I can equate the coefficients of highest degree terms on both sides. You can see here, if I expand, we get z square. So let us start equating the coefficient coefficients of first z square and z on both sides. So since I want to find two constants here, a and b, so starting from highest degree, I'll equate highest degree is z square. So z square and its next term z. So let us equate it on both sides. And here you have z square and its coefficient was 1. So get 1 is equal to, here we get z square and z square coefficient was a, and here z is there and its coefficient was 4b. So it is a plus 4b. Sorry guys, it was disturbing. See, I want to equate only the coefficient of z square on both sides. Z square here is 1 and here z square is a, and here there is no z square in other terms. So no other terms will come. A, b term is also 0, c term is also 0. So I get a is equal to 1. So the next coefficient a was 1 here. And next coefficient of z on both sides. And in the left hand side here you don't have any z term. So it is 0 is equal to, see the first term here. It looks like a minus b whole square, and if you expand a square plus b square minus 2ab. See, expand carefully, a square plus b square minus 2ab will come. Minus 2ab means minus 2 into 4 into z. It is minus 8z. Minus 8z into a. So in that the coefficient of z was minus 8a. And here the coefficient of z is 4b. So it is plus 4b. And here also there is a z term and its coefficient was 4c plus 4c. So if I equate z term on both sides, we get this. So you know the value of a and c. Substitute and find the value of b. This implies 0 equals. See, a is 1, so it becomes minus 8 plus 4b. And c was, c is 1 by 4. If I put 1 by 4 here, 4 gets cancelled, we get 1. So therefore we get 4b equals, say 4b equals, this is minus 8 plus 1 minus 7. So minus 7, if I take it to the other side, it is plus 7. So this implies b is equal to, it is 7 by 4. So we got the values of the terms a, b, c. And once we get a, b, c, substitute them in equation 1. So substituting a, comma b and c in 1, we get z cube minus 8z divided by z minus 4 whole cube equal a was 1, so it is z by z minus 4. So the first term was a is 1, so I get the same thing. Next is b, and b was 7 by 4, it is plus 7 by 4 into this is 4z divided by z minus 4 whole square plus c is 1 by 4 into this is 4z square plus 16z divided by, it is z minus 4 whole cube. Right? So I have substituted the values of a, b and c in this. So this is by resolving it into partial fraction and finding the values of a, b, c. Now take z inverse on both sides. So just take inverse z transformation on both sides. We get zt inverse of this term, and see this left hand side. This term was nothing but the given function u bar of z. So straight away I'll write zt inverse of u bar of z is equal to the right hand side, the first term. It is zt inverse of z by z minus 4, right? This term zt inverse of z by z minus 4 plus next term 7 by 4. And one thing guys, keep it in your mind, don't cancel this 4. If you cancel 4, it gone. See, don't simplify here, don't apply your maths. Let it be as it is, because this should satisfy this relation k power n into n like that. So don't cancel any terms here, let it be as it is. I'll keep the 7 by 4 outside only, plus 7 by 4 into it is zt inverse of, it is 4z by z minus 4 whole square plus the last term, it is 1 by 4 into zt inverse of the next term 4z square plus 16z. It is 4z square plus 16z divided by z minus 4 whole cube. Right? So we have to write like this. Now apply the formula. You know zt inverse of u bar is un. So get un equals. So the first term zt inverse of z by z minus 4. So zt inverse of z by z minus 4 is, see the formula, zt inverse of z by z minus k is k power n. So zt inverse of z by z minus 4. 4 becomes 4 power n. So the answer for this term is 4 power n plus the next term, it is 7 by 4. 7 by 4 into, see this looks like kz by z minus k whole square, and you know kz by z minus k whole square, the formula is k power n into n. So k power n, k means 4, it is 4 power n, 4 power n into n, plus the next term, it is 1 by 4 into, 1 by 4 into, so this term, see, it is kz square plus k square z by z minus k whole cube. It is nothing but k power n into n square. So k power n into n square means it is k is 4. So it is 4 power n into n square. So it is 1 by 4 into, it is 4 power n into n square here. So this is the inverse z transformation of your problem. So this is how we can find, this is how we can find the inverse z transformations when we have a linear repeated factors, and this was a common procedure for all problems. This is how we can solve. So I'll go to problem number 6. Evaluate z inverse of, it is 4z square minus 2z divided by z minus 1 into z minus 2 whole square. Okay, so this is the problem I am going to take. Inverse z transformation of this. Okay, so let us try this problem now. So here also you can observe, so here u bar of z. So I'll write first, let u bar of z is equal to, it is 4z square minus 2z divided by denominator, it is z minus 1 into z minus 2 whole square. Now if you look at this, this is z minus 1 power 1, okay, it is non-repeated. But this one, it is z minus 2 whole square, it is a linear repeated. Okay, linear repeated. So once you have a linear repeated, so you have to follow the procedure whatever we did here. So square is there means we have to consider in the numerator case that like this. So let us do the splitting first. So let us consider, I'll write like this, 4z square minus 2z, the denominator, it is z minus 1 into z minus 2 whole square equals. Now, see, I'll do the partial fraction for this. First, z minus 1. What is the partial fraction for this? It is a by z minus 1. See, here onwards, I'll write like this, the partial fractions. Actually, I'll write, we used to write a like a here, a by z minus 1 plus b by z minus 2 like that. But here, in inverse z transformation problems, I'll write a outside and the numerator, I'll leave it blank. A by first term plus b by, it is z minus 2, the partial fraction for this term now. Z minus 2 whole square, b by z minus 2 plus the next term is c by z minus 2 whole square. Right, it is a by z minus 1 plus b by z minus 2 plus z by z minus 2 whole square. That is a partial fraction. But the extra thing I am doing is In the numerator, I'll leave some space for introducing certain variables. So here what we have to write, see, this is like z minus 1, means it is like z minus k. And if I have z minus k in the numerator, I should have z to apply the formula. So I will write z in the numerator of this. And same thing for the second also, z minus k is 2 here. So the numerator should be z. But for the third term, z minus 2 whole square. So in the denominator you have a square, and if you have a square here, in the numerator you should have kz. So I'll write kz for the last term. And what is k here? If you look at this, k is 2 in this. This is the value of k. K is 2. So kz means it is 2z. I should have 2z in the numerator to apply the standard formula of inverse z transformation. This is the modification I'm going to do while solving a problem on inverse z transformation for linear repeated factors. And this I will call it as 1. We take LCM and we simplify. We equate the numerators. So if I equate the numerators, this implies it is 4z square minus 2z is equal to, look at this, z minus 1 gets cancelled. So here you get just az into z minus 2 whole square, cross multiplication. Now here plus bz into, see this, 1 z minus 2 term cancel with this. So what is remaining here? Z minus 1 into z minus 2. And coming to the last term, sorry, z minus 2, this is minus 2. The last term plus 2cz into, see, z minus 2 whole square gets cancelled. You get z minus 1. If you take LCM and cancel also, you get the same thing, or equate the numerators. Now see, here also z. So I can cancel z on both sides by taking common. So take z common from both sides and cancel. We get, it is 4z minus 2 equals, right hand side, a into z minus 2 plus b into, it is z minus 1 into z minus 2 plus 2c into z minus 1. Either sides I am cancelling z. Now find the values of ABC by giving a value for z. So there are two roots here, z is equal to 1 and z is equal to 2. Let us substitute. Put z is equal to 1 first, then put z is equal to 2. So if I put z is equal to 1 here, so 4 into 1, 4 minus 2, 2 equals the right hand side. See, if I put z is equal to 1, b term 0, c term 0, I get only a. If I put 1 here, 1 minus 2, it is minus 1. So it is minus 1 into a, and b0, c0. So this simple is
minus on the square, sir. Z minus 2 whole square.
Oh, z minus 2 whole square. Sorry. Z minus 2 whole square, this is. So minus 1 whole square. So a becomes 2, correct now? Minus 1 whole square is plus 1. So a is 2. Correct. Thank you. And now put z is equal to 2. See, it is 4 into 2, 8. 8 minus 2, 6. So 6 is equal to, see, look at the right hand side. 2 minus 2, 0. So a term was 0. And here also 2 minus 2, 0. B term is also 0. But whereas C term, 2 minus 1, it is 1. 1 into 2C. It is plus 2C. So this implies C is equal to 6 by 2, 3. Correct? No? Send this to the left hand side. 6 by 2 is 3. So A value is 2, C value is 3. Now I want to find what is B. So now look at this expression. The highest degree term in B is Z square. If you multiply all, what we get? Z into Z, Z square. So highest degree term is Z square. Let us equate Z square term on both sides. So equating Z square on both sides. And here in the left hand side, there is no Z square, only Z term is there. So it is 0. Equals here, see this, here whole square is there. If I expand to get Z square, and the coefficient of Z square was A. So if I expand to get Z square, its coefficient is A. And here if you multiply Z into Z, Z square, and Z square coefficient was B, and in C there is no Z square term, leave it. So therefore you get 0 is equal to A plus B. So this implies B is equal to minus A, implies B is equal to A is 2. So it is B is minus 2. So I got the values of A, B, C. So substitute them in equation 1. Substituting A comma B and C. In 1, we get this 4z square minus 2z divided by the z minus 1 into z minus 2 whole square is equal to, the first term was A, and you know A is 2. So it is 2 into z by z minus 1 plus B. B is minus 2 into z by z minus 2 plus C. C is 3. 3 into, it is 2z divided by z minus 2 whole square. So if we substitute the values of ABC in this equation 1, we get this. So let us take inverse Z transformation on both sides here. So it is ZT inverse. ZT inverse of, you know, this is U bar of Z, the left hand side. So this is U bar of Z. So the right hand side, it is 2 times ZT inverse of Z by Z minus 1 minus 2 times ZT inverse of second, it is Z by Z minus 2 plus 3 times, it is ZT inverse of 2Z by Z minus 2 whole square, right? So I'm taking inverse Z transformation of each of this. Now you know ZT inverse of U bar of Z is UN, so you get UN equals. Now, can you tell me what is the inverse of first term? So 2 constant, 2 into inverse of Z by Z minus 1. 1, correct? Z by Z minus 1, its inverse is 1. The formula already we have written. So it is 2 into 1, 2 minus 2 into what is inverse of Z by Z minus 2? What is the inverse of Z by Z minus 2? Anyway, right here into 1 this is. So this one Z by Z minus 2, what is the answer?
2 power n.
2 power n. Correct? No, 2 power n. Plus the next term 3 into. What is the inverse of 2z by z minus 2 whole square? So it is k power n into n, no? So k is 2. K power n means 2 power n. 2 power n into n. So I can write like this. So this implies un equals, it is 2 minus, I can take 2 power n common here. So it becomes minus 2 power n common means it is 2 minus 3n. Shall I write like this? I'm taking minus 2 power n common. So this is 2 will remain. And this plus becomes minus. Minus 2 power n we have taken outside, no, 3n. So 2 minus 3n. This is the inverse Z transformation of your question number 6. So this is how we can find the inverse Z transformations for a problem. So every problem will be of the same type here. If you have a linear repeated factors like this is how we can find inverse Z transformations. So this is how we can solve here. So like this, there is a one more problem. I'm going to give it to you. So that problem you can try at home. I'll just write down the problem. Just observe that. Question number 7. The 7 is this. Find the inverse Z transform of, find the inverse Z transform of, it is Z cube minus 20Z divided by Z minus 2 whole square into Z minus 4. So just find the inverse Z transformation of this problem. So this problem is very much similar to the problem number 6. So you can just resolve it into a partial fraction in a proper manner and find out what is the inverse Z transformations. So this is how we can find the inverse Z transformation, and in the annual exam, you're going to get one question on inverse Z transformation and easy to answer. Practice the problem, guys. So this completes your 2 parts of this, that is the problems on Z transformation and the standard formula derivation and other things, and the problems on inverse Z transformations. Okay, so there is a one more part in this one, that is solving difference equations using Z transformations. So just a minute, I'll share the screen again. Okay. So the last part of this model is the solution of a difference equations using Z transforms. See, from this you're going to get one question in the annual exam. So there in a Laplace transform, we solve differential equations, but here you're going to solve difference equations. So we'll learn how to solve difference equations using Z transform, and from this we'll get one question. So first let us discuss what is the procedure of this, okay, how to solve a difference equation, and then we'll move to the problem. So the working rule to solve a difference equations here is, first a difference equation, a finite difference equation like un plus 2, un plus 1, something like that, it will be given to you. So we take Z transform on both sides. We take Z transform on both sides. So, and once you take Z transform on both sides, we use the known expressions for this un plus 1, un plus 2 and all. So there is a small formula for what is un plus 1, un plus 2 and all. So let us use them and we simplify it. So once you simplify it, you get u bar of Z is equal to, that is Z transformation, and then I want un here. So un means the solution of the difference equation. So take Z transform to the other side, you're going to get inverse. So un is inverse Z transformation of this. If you find the inverse of the right hand side, you're going to get what is the solution of a difference equation. It is exactly same as solving differential equation in Laplace transform. So there also, you'll take Laplace transform on both sides. Then you'll use Laplace transform of derivative formulae. Initial conditions you'll substitute and simplify. Then you get y is equal to L inverse. So here also same, un is equal to inverse, Zt inverse of u bar. So exactly same. Take Z transform, use the formula Z transform of un plus 1, un plus 2, the finite differences. Use the initial conditions given. Simplify, take inverse on both sides, you get a solution of difference equation. So the procedure is exactly same as solving a difference equation by using Laplace. But here, solving difference equation by using Z transform. And in case here, if the initial values u0, u1, etc. are not given, means you'll get a general solution. If the values are given, means you're going to get the particular solution of a problem. That's all it says, nothing about this. So this is the working rule to solve a problem on difference equation using Z transformations. Okay, so I just minimize this. So this is the procedure of solving a difference equation. So let us understand this with a particular example now. So before starting a particular example, I'll give two notes. The note for what is the expression for Z transform of un plus 1, Z transform of un plus 2. Just I'll write them first. So I'll write here. Write note. First one, the Z transform of un plus 1. Just a minute, I'll give a formula list. So the first one, Z transform of un plus 1 is equal to, it is Z into u bar of Z minus u0. Second, Z transform of un plus 2 equals, it is Z square into u bar of Z minus u0 minus u1 divided by Z. Third, Z transform of un plus 3 equals, it is Z cube into u bar of Z minus u0 minus u1 by Z minus u2 by Z square. So these are some expressions for Z transform of first term un plus 1, first finite difference, second, third, like that. So these are the standard formulae. If you know these relations, this u0 and u1 and other things are the initial values they may give in the problem. So using those initial values, we can substitute the initial values in this along with this formula and all in the problem, and simplify, take inverse on both sides. We're going to get what is the solution for a given difference equation. Okay, so let us solve some problem related to difference equations. Anyway, still time is there, I'll continue. Just a minute. Okay. Problems on difference equations using Z transforms. Problems on difference equations using Z transform. I'll start with problem 1. First problem. Solve by using Z transform. Solve by using Z transform. The problem is yn plus 2 minus 4yn equals 0 given that y0 is equal to 0 and y1 is equal to 2. So this is the problem given here. So let us see how to find the solution of this difference equation using Z transform. This is how the problem on difference equation will be given to us. So like this 100% question will come in the annual examination, a very important one, difference. So first I'll write the given equation. Given yn plus 2 minus 4 into yn equals 0. So instead of un plus 2, you have yn plus 2. Same, symbol is changed, that's all. The first step says you have to take Z transform on both sides. Taking Z transform on both sides, we get. So it is Z transform of yn plus 2 minus 4 into Z transform of yn equals 0. Now Z transform of yn plus 2, we know that. So Z transform of yn plus 2 equals, so just look at the formula. Yn plus 2 is same as un plus 2. The formula is, it is z square into y bar of z. Instead of u, I am taking y. Y bar of z minus y0 minus y1 by z. Right. Oh, sorry, it was written here. Sorry, I have to change the page. So it is Z transform of yn plus 2 is equal to, it is z square into y bar of z minus y0 minus y1 by z. This is the formula. And z transform of yn is nothing but y bar of z. So let us substitute here. So therefore, this expression becomes yn plus 2 is z square into this y bar of z minus y0 minus y1 by z minus 4 into z transform of yn, this term, it is y bar of z is equal to 0. So I'm just substituting yn plus 2 here, y bar of z transform of yn as y bar of z. Now use the initial conditions. What is y0 here? They are given the value of y0 is 0, y1 is 2. Substitute now. So this is 0, y1 is 2. So therefore we get, it is z square into y bar of z. I'll multiply minus, see this z square into y bar of z minus this 2 minus 2. See here we get z square divided by z, multiply inside, z square by z. So it is z minus 2z minus 4y bar of z is equal to 0. So this is how we can take z transform on both sides, use the formula and initial conditions and simplify. Now from the first term and from the last term, I can take y bar of z common. Y bar of z common here, so I get z square minus 4. Z square minus 4, and this term I'll take it to the right hand side. The term which is free from y bar, I'll take it to the RHS. Take this term to the right hand side. So it becomes plus 2z. So this implies y bar of z is equal to, it is 2z divided by z square minus 4. So I'll send this to the RHS. It is 2z by z square minus 4. And further, I'll take inverse z transform. Taking inverse z transform, on both sides, we get. So zt inverse of y bar of z is equal to the right hand side, it is zt inverse of 2z by z square minus 4. And you know ZT inverse of y bar of z is nothing but yn. So ZT inverse of y bar of z is, ZT inverse of u bar of z is un. So here you get yn equals, so this is RHS, it is ZT inverse of 2z by, remember guys, so here you should have only z minus k form, here you have square. If you have a term like this, you have to simplify this, factorize this. You know z square minus 4 can be written as z minus 2 into z plus 2. It is like a square minus b square, a minus b into a plus b, so that you get a product of two linear factors in the denominator. And once you have a product terms like this, I can find z transformation easily. So if you find the inverse of this right hand side, we get what is the solution of a differential equation. But how to find this? So this is based on your earlier procedure. So I can straight away do like this. Consider this 2z by z minus 2 into z minus 4. So I'll call this as 1. This is equal to. So I'll write a partial fraction for this. From here onwards, I'll do the partial fraction for like this. It is linear non-repeated. It is a by z minus 2, a by z minus 2 like this. A by z minus 2, but numerator I'll leave it blank. Plus b by z minus 4. Otherwise, you can do like your problem number 1 and 2 also. A by this, b by this, by taking z to the left hand side, u bar of z by z like that. Or you can do like this also. So there you'll take z to the left hand side, then you will multiply to the right hand side. You get z by there also. Here what I am going to do is that z I am taking directly to the numerator. That's all. Because the power is 1 here, z minus k, and if you have z minus k means the numerator should have z, because the power is 1 means z. So there also in the problem number 1 and 2 also you can do like this. The z instead of taking to the left hand side, straight away you can take in the right hand side. Now take LCM and simplify this, equate the numerators. This is 2z is equal to az into c. Z minus 2 gets cancelled. It is z minus 4 plus bz into z minus 4 gets cancelled. It is z minus 2. So either sides you can cancel z. You get 2 is equal to a into z minus 4 plus b into z minus 2. So z cancels. So now, because you can cancel this z. Now put the value for z. Put z is equal to 2 and z is equal to 4. There are two roots here, correct? Two roots. So if I put 2 here, this is 2 equals the right hand side. See this 2 minus 4, it is minus 2. It is minus 2a and b becomes 0. So this implies a is equal to minus 1. And if I put 4, you get 2 equals, here 4 minus 4, 0, plus second term 4 minus 2 is 2, 2b plus 2b. So this implies b equals 1. So I got the values of a and b. So let us substitute that a and b in this equation, equation 2. So substituting a and b in 2, we get.
Sir,
Yes?
z minus 4, how did you get, sir?
Z minus?
4? Z minus 4, sir. In denominator, z minus 2 into z plus 2, no, sir?
Oh, sorry. Z minus 2 into z plus 2. Sorry guys. Correct pa. Z plus 2 here. Plus 2. Now here if I put 2 here, what happens? A becomes 2 plus 2, 4. Correct now? So A is 1 by 2, correct? 2 plus 2, 4. Oh, okay. Here if I put minus 2, A is 0. Here minus 2, minus 4B. Then B is minus 1 by 2. Correct now? A and B? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So A is 1 by 2, B is minus 1 by 2. So substitute now. I'll just go to the next page. Just a minute. So if I substitute in 1, we get this 2z divided by this z minus 2 into z plus 2 equals A is 1 by 2 into this is z by z minus 2 and B is minus 1 by 2. Minus 1 by 2 into z by z plus 2. Correct? So A and B are substituted. Now take inverse on both sides. So taking inverse Z transform on both sides, we get ZT inverse of, this is nothing but our U bar of Z, sorry, Y bar of Z. Right, this is our Y bar of Z is equal to the right hand side. I can keep this 1 by 2 outside because 1 by 2 common. So it is ZT inverse of Z by Z minus 2 minus ZT inverse of Z by Z plus 2. So you know ZT inverse of Y bar of Z is Yn. So I get Yn equals, it is 1 by 2 into, so what is the inverse of the first term? Z by Z minus K. So it is K power N. K power N means it is 2 power N minus, what is the inverse of the next term? Z by Z plus 2 minus 2 power N. Correct. It is Z by Z plus is there. Plus is there means you get minus here. Minus 2 power N. So therefore we get Yn is equal to 1 by 2 into 2 power N minus of this minus 2 power N here. So this is the solution of your difference equation. This is how we can solve a difference equation by using Z transformations, and this is a common procedure for all problems here.